Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing this evening? Happy Thanksgiving and happy Thanksgiving, as it will be for us in game. Hope everyone's doing well, and yeah, plenty to talk about today. Oi, oi, oi. But yeah, I hope everyone's doing okay. Obviously, we will have to do some chat around the new legendary bodyguard enhancements, which I'm sure everyone is very excited about. But we've also got a new Warlords to reveal for Thanksgiving as well, which is a tank commander, which is suitable, really. But yeah, just usual thing. Can everyone hear me? Everyone see me? All that jazz. I'm guessing yes. I'm guessing all the highs are, for the most part, directed towards me, but just double checking before I dive in too much. Will the arena be open? Yes, the arena will be open. You can beat me up against the new Warlords and give it a good chance at winning some new copies yourself as well. But yeah, what do we want to talk about first? Do we want to talk about enhancements and everything that's going on with that at the moment? Because I'm more than happy to talk through what is going on with that, or do we want to dive into the new Warlords? How are we feeling? How do we want to start this? Do you want the good news or the bad news first? I'm guessing you can all hear me. Bad news first. Warlords. All right. Well, yeah. I think I agree with Goblin Wizard. Let's get the bad news out of the way first. And yeah, I do normally start at 7. I'm starting at 6 today just because we've got some stuff going on. Em's out of the house, so we've got a friend very kindly coming over to look after the kids, so I can get the stream sorted. And yes, have a bedtime tonight, put the boys to bed after that without it all getting too crazy. So juggling family life. Date night, not quite. I mean, Em might be having a lovely time, but I'm very much at home with the boys. Might treat myself to a takeaway afterwards, though. Uh, but yeah, okay. The first time I'm doing this, I'm going to do a live screen share, so let me know if you can actually read everything, all right? But yeah, what is going on with the legendary enhancements at the moment? Basically, what's happened is when a card's been transitioned over to its new level, what we've done is we've looked at total card copies that have been spent. So again, for people who had cards at max level beforehand, I mean, can you see this as zoomed in enough, or is it too small? But yeah, if you were at 54 cards because you'd done it before the enhancements first rolled out, it looks at it and says 54. There you go, you're level 15. If you had been on max level, level 13 beforehand, at 42, then it stays at 42, depending on when you got to level 13, basically. And same thing here. Let's say before the changes, you were level 6 at 14, and you weren't quite 19 yet. And then you can move across to here for only level 15 would have been available. For level 7, that's only one card where it would have cost you 4, for example. All right, no worries. See you later, Lodger. Have a good one, and thanks for dropping in. Appreciate it. But yeah, that's basically what's happened. There's a bit of a weirdness that's been going on there about when and how you've upgraded your levels. But basically, we have all this data here. We can see for every single user and every single card how many cards we've owned lifetime, how many owned. So that will be like how many spare you have in inventory, and then how many spent. And that spent is what is pushing you on this table here to which level you get moved to. Where there is potential weirdness and inconsistency, I mean, we've seen this from Discord, is that people could have spent, based on upgrades there and then upgrades here and stuff like that, could have spent a weird number So if, for example, I spent 44 cards because of the level tree changing and stuff like that somehow, what I would have done is say, okay, 44 cards spent, that puts you down to 42, and we aren't refunding the remainder at the moment. We will be. We're looking to get that all sorted, but that's where some people have moved down levels in a weird way. So if you were level 13 yesterday, it depends on how you got to level 13. So if you got to level 13 on this tree, and this was the tree that was updated when the Warlord enhancements came up, and you spent 42 or something along that line, then no, you'd be level 13. If you were level 12 beforehand and 48, you'd now be level 14. And if you'd spent 54, then you'd be up to level 15. So you can see it kind of depends on how many cards you'd spent. So when the change happens, if you were on level 12, you could now upgrade to level 13, or you would be level 13. But in reality, now the change has gone out, you're level 14, level 15. So it's basically a bit wonky. Yeah, unfortunately so. So that was basically all this weirdness shouldn't have happened. When we rolled out the enhancements, obviously we rolled out this new tree, but what happened is that with that initial rollout, all it did was look at the level. So it said level 10 is level 10. And we were like, no, level 10 should be at 36. That should be level 11 with plenty of change. So we then did the fix and basically aligned everyone's trees from this one to this one, which worked fine for the Warlords. The problem is when that happens, it got rolled out to all cards, not just Warlords. It should have just been rolled out to Warlords. That's a mistake that we made. It got rolled out to all cards, which is why when enhancements came out, the first thing that a lot of people noticed was they had loads of bodyguards upgraded. Like, oh, great, this guy was only like level 10. I can now upgrade him all the way up to level 12 or level 11, something like that. So you basically got, yeah, all of the bodyguards got boosted progress effectively for this. Because what was supposed to happen, the reason why these numbers line up for the most part, like you can see here, these numbers line up. There are lots of other places these numbers line up, is when the transition happens, is it should have been like a really nice diagonal movement across. The two enhancement levels that are coming in here and here, I think, they should have just been added into the tree. You shouldn't have shifted. But because this got shifted in early, everyone got accelerated and then shifted back again when those enhancements levels dropped in. So you basically got progress early. Yeah. But the way it's being adjusted now is, yeah, we've looked at the number spent and we've aligned that to your level. So the problem is that when you reach this level kind of determines where you end up on this table. The big thing that's happening for people who are saying, well, this doesn't really make sense because I know I had this many excess copies beforehand, or I had these unspent, or I should have more of these, is the remainder hasn't been taken into account. So as I say, like if you had spent over here, you'd spent 24 copies here, you're one short. So we're going to go through and try and get this all mathed out tomorrow. And so anyone who's got wonky levels where they've got a remainder number of cards spent, so if it says 39 copies somehow had been spent, at the moment we just put you at level 12 and we wouldn't be refunding those two. Right now that's what's happened. We're going to look through and try and give everyone all those copies back, basically. But yeah, it's a mess, but it's fixable and we know why and we know how. And now that we know how to fix it, it will get fixed. I think like the big takeaway is like this number is true and absolute. We can see how many copies you've owned over the lifetime. We can see how many have an inventory, how many are spent. So it's fixable. All of it will be corrected. Some things are a bit wonky, but it's not going to be wrong once it's fixed. Like we can't get it wrong. It's just making sure that the game and the data all line up properly. Does that make sense? I know it's not ideal. The initial migration should have been much smoother. And yeah, we have fixed some of it. So for a lot of people who were in this camp of, for example, they had the cards at max level before any of the changes happen, you'll go straight across because those are neat overlaps. So these levels here, they all line up to exact change. So you'll be fine. Any of these cards at these levels will 100% be at the right level. Where it gets weird is mostly in this kind of middle area where the numbers kind of line up, but they don't. So if you're in this area here, this is where you'll have cards appearing or disappearing because of the remainder. And it's also where a lot of people will be feeling like the biggest impact between, I feel like I've slid back 2 levels and I've lost to trait level 3 and stuff like that. That's the real pain zone. So at the top, you're going to be fine. At the bottom, you're going to be fine. It's this kind of patch in the middle, except for, weirdly, if you spend exactly 19 copies, that the weirdness is going on, basically. But we know how to fix it. It's just a matter of getting it fixed and giving the Discord out. So how did it happen? So this is a very valid and fair question. The first thing happened with the level tree going out to all cards rather than just warlords. That was just a genuine mistake. We realised when this rolled out that we'd messed up, and so we acted too quickly and pushed the change straight away, and it applied to all cards rather than just to warlords, which is what should have happened. So that was like a genuine human mistake. That wasn't a testing error. That was, we had launched it with an issue and we fixed it too quickly. As for how this messed up with the changes here for legendary bodyguards, with the testing, we obviously find it very difficult to test with live profiles because then you have to push the changes into live. So what had happened was that because the testing was done in an environment which had already had these levels assigned to it, when they were upgrading and over-assigning card copies, so I could maximum upgrade to level 42, but I would assign myself level 54 cards in inventory. So when I flipped over, said, yep, look, I've got cards available. That's fine. That isn't representative of what was happening in live. We should have had a live profile cloned into the testing environment, into the back end, and then said, okay, this is the game state that exists from a card that, from a player that is experienced before all of these changes happened, and we would have picked up the issue there. So yeah, that was a testing oversight. It was an obvious edge case that should have been tested once we've rolled out, but something easy to miss in the first instance because we didn't know that we were looking for it. Why would you not have told players this happens months ago? So we did communicate it. I think the problem has been about communicating it in a way that is clear and accessible. Obviously, like, this is a lot of numbers and isn't easily digestible. It has been in a blog post before. I've mentioned it on stream before, but I haven't gone into this much detail, to be fair. But you know, this is going to be the case for when we roll it out to other bodyguards. So if and when this happens for epics, because we've done all this work now, we've got to fix, like, this won't be an issue going forward. So at least we can roll out the other ones with confidence. But honestly, yeah, it's really difficult to talk about this stuff in a way that is easy to understand. Like, I know you guys turn up and you watch the streams, you take it seriously, and I always try and be as transparent as possible. But taking this out of a stream into a way that's digestible in a blog post is almost impossible. And you know, a good example is, I imagine, while the gist of what I'm saying is pretty easy to transfer, like if you're talking to your clanmates in your own discourse and stuff like that, and saying, okay, well, Madame said this, Harry said this, and it makes sense, but actually saying, yeah, these are the numbers, this is why this has happened, again, it's not easy to sort of convey just through text, which is why I encourage as many of you as possible from the Discord to come over and have a chat. I'm glad that some of you has. But yeah, we screwed up a bit on this for sure. and there are things that could have been done better. The only silver lining is that it's fixable, you know, because the copies held, copies spent, all the rest of it is absolute data, like it can't be interfered with. We know exactly how many card copies everyone has owned and spent throughout the entire lifetime of the game across every single card. It's just making sure that the reality of that data is reflected in the game, basically. So it's going to take some math. It's going to take some back-end hacking. Not hacking in a bad way, but like just making sure we make all the maths work in the right way. And yeah, it'll be fixed. But I agree. All the criticism saying this shouldn't have happened in the first place. Yeah, spot on, valid. But it has, and we acknowledge that. I acknowledge that, and I am very sorry to everyone who's been mucked about like this. But we'll get it fixed, and we'll get it fixed as quickly as possible. And yeah, it will be correct. Like the numbers there, we can't get that wrong. It's just making sure that the game reflects that. Oh, cool. What everyone wanted to be talking about. I don't know if I'm looking haggard enough, but yeah, it's been an intense couple of hours for you guys too as well. And yeah, just genuine apologies for everyone. I know that a lot of you are being really chilled, understanding about it, and thank you for that. I also appreciate a lot of you are justifiably annoyed about this, and again, I don't blame you. I'm not cross with you. Don't think that you're being dismissed or ignored. You're not. It's totally fair enough. So thank you to both of you, whichever camp you're in. And yeah, for all the people who, to be fair, for the people who are being most vocal about it, you really helped because you chucked all your examples in the Discord as quickly as possible, and that's got us to the bottom of it. Oh, right. Let us move on, unless there are any other questions. Yeah, it's difficult for me. I'm trying my best because I'm not code savvy. I'm just the games guy. Yeah, thanks, Mike. Asking the real questions. Morty's power being rubbish. It's a really weird one because it's not showing up that way from the data. I'm very prepared to pull the trigger and give him a big buff. Like I'm very okay with that. But I don't want to pull that trigger when his data is showing that he's actually quite competitive at the moment. And I know that there's a lot of reasons that could be, where it's because just a lot of people who like him are playing him obsessively with very high level bodyguards and are able to pump him up to a very high level. There are people who are easily and often invested into the game, and so lots of players who would like to play him but don't have levels at high enough, cards at a high enough level, him at high enough level, or aren't confident in him, aren't playing him and forcing the win statistics. Like, I get that. But yeah, what would I do to him? I think my first choice would be, or I've got two choices. I think I would either increase the buff when he's on the field. So rather than the effect being double when Morty's on the field, I'll make it like triple. So in that way, it makes it just like a very interesting dynamic gameplay style where it's like, as soon as he's on the board, like everything is in danger, but then you've got to keep him alive. So taking it up to like 60 ticks, the tick is like 60 damage per time when he's on the field. Which I think will be cool. I think that'd be like the most interesting gameplay wise, but I don't know whether or not that'll fix it and could make it frustrating to play, because you do have to keep them alive. And that means that it is definitely a bigger ask for players who have him at lower levels. I think that would like gatekeep his playability until he was high level. The other option is to turn it on for both levels. Sorry, for both turns. So saying it happens on the opponent's turn as well. That's like the simplest one, and that's very easy to do. And just say, yeah, you get double the ticks. and I'm open to that as well. I do want the data to stabilize him as well because I think people's points are valid about he's probably having his win stats warped by people who are able to have him at high level already and are determined to force him because they like it. But yeah, we can see a decent amount of that. The other question that we've got there is, will we get enhancements for everyone down the line? Ideally, yeah, that is the plan. We'll see how it goes. But to be totally transparent, because I know people are talking about like the cost of how much the enhancements are costing. They will be getting like increasingly cheaper. So obviously it's 100 for a warlord, 50 for a legendary. The plan is so far, again, subject to change. It's not having yet. It's like 30 for epic, 20 for rare, 10 for 10 for commons. So when you get down that level, like the rerolls are incredibly cheap, and we'll obviously be doing occasional discounts for each one. So like at the moment, it's obviously half price, 25 plasma only to reroll the legendary enhancements. And a lot of people saying, okay, well, why is it plasma, not coins? I think honestly, that would, as much as it sounds like this is just a line, it's not. I think that would make it worse. I think that would make it more pay to win if it was using coins, because by the time you've got the people right at the top who have really high level, lots of max level cards, like coins isn't an issue. Like you have coins out the wazoo, people show on Discord, they've got balances like 1 million, 2 million coins, 4 million coins. And they would be able to roll infinitely, basically. And the people who don't have a lot of coins are the people at the beginning, the early players. They need those coins to upgrade their cards. And so we're basically telling people that either you upgrade more cards, or you have a wider breadth of cards, or your deck overall improves, or you hyper focus on 1 or 2 cards, and if they get nerfed, or if there's a new card that comes out that's better, or they decide they don't like that warlord, then they've sacrificed a lot of their growth potential just into 1 card. Whereas plasma growth, like the way that we give out plasma from rewards, campaigns, end of seasons, all the rest of it, like that's really flat, regardless of what level you're into. Obviously, yes, you can buy it, but as a free-to-play player, like the amount of plasma you get at level 20 and at level 60 is pretty much the same from just like regular active engagement. So I think that's probably the fairest way to do it. And the value for the enhancements, how much it costs, that's up for debate. Like if it's coming too much, but yeah. Yeah, I get what you're saying with that, Calvin. Yeah, that's a tricky issue to sort out. I think the problem is that for those individuals, it's a small group of people who have just got to that point, and have that one thing that got them to that position. I think overall, though, the valid point about the disparity between like the general high level player and the general mid to level player, low level player is just accurate. It's just a much more even playing field. Yeah, there are a couple of people who have got a very large advantage, but they had to be very high level and have already got to that point pretty much before they were able to get to that point. But yeah, I get the point totally. But I think it still is a much fairer way to end up. And sure, I've got a question here about looking at a bodyguard enhancement. I mean, we can do that quickly before we go into the warlords. But it's exactly the same as it would be for a regular warlords. Let's do one of the red gobbos. It's nearly red gobbo time. The only difference that we've got for the bodyguard enhancements, so I'm just going to blow my nose and mute that for a second here. The only differences we've got is around Omni levels. So Omni levels for bodyguards aren't available at bronze, and they've been decreased at silver and gold to be only half what the regular stat enhancement is. But I'll re-roll to see with the enhancements. We can see they're a bit lower level for the Omni level. There we go. So the difference now is that used to be 10 and 10, that's now 5 and 10. And yeah, it just works like the existing ones do. But yeah, Red Gobbo with double health enhancements is going to be pretty nuts. Yeah. So we did think about bringing in a new currency. It's difficult. It's difficult, and bringing in new currency has all its own issues. But yes. Let's look at the new warlords. So here we go. Tank Commander Ackerman. This is our first warlord that we've got that is basically playing with the idea of keywords. We don't know whether or not it's going to be a one-off thing or like a general thing, but we wanted to give it a go. And yeah, I think this is a pretty cool rule. So if a vehicle card you control would take damage during your turn, it's reduced by 75%. And this reduces all damage. So it's from poison, other wall of rules, attacks, everything. So like it's a really big reduction, but it's only during your turn. So the reason that that works is it basically means that you get to win in mirror matches. So if you're going all ranged, you get to shoot into other big shooty things without any issue whatsoever. You don't get hit back as hard. It also means you can ready pretty freely. So whenever you want to do a ready, you can do that. And if you're fighting someone who's psychic, you're very low risk of taking much damage back at all. So it's one of those ones that's like offensively defensive. And yeah, it's got keyword vehicle. So yeah, we're looking into it as an experiment, for as a finally a use for some keywords for sure. That isn't just mission tie-ins. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. I don't think like this is the most busted warlord rule ever, but I think it's definitely an interesting one. I think it plays into the kind of cards that work with vehicles. I think it thematically fits with the tank commander and some of the tank detachments and stuff like that you can run for the Astra Militarum. So yeah, should be a good one. Just give me a second. I can switch over to him as where are we? Here we go. So here he is. So any damage, yeah, includes death blow. It's basically any damage source during your turn is reduced by 75%. So death blow traits. So anything coming back with endless and furious charge or something like that. Poison. It's just you have complete protection, not complete, so 75% protection from everything that goes on in your turn. But yeah, here he is. He's got a well, he's got 2 enhancements in at the moment. But yeah, big beefy boy, 54 points. So we're aware that vehicles is an expensive keyword. So he's not tied too tightly by his own points. And yeah, with his hero pack, we are adding in a whole load of vehicle. Okay, come on, learn that spell. So adding in some new ones, we've got a little death blower, a little demolition vehicle for 10 points. Get your cheap vehicles in there. We've obviously got these nice cheap walkers, sentinels, and then we've got a new taunt card. Obviously, taunt card is going to be very, very, very good in this as well. Which one are the other new ones we've got coming in this pack? Got Hydra, got Wyvern. Oh, they've all got the same mythological names. Got anti-infantry, big blaster. This one, which is going to be a lot of fun, incredibly squishy, but stupid amount of damage. So this is just trying to represent the sort of like the one shot that this Death Strike missile has, like absolutely annihilates anything in one go, but it's likely to get hit back. But it kind of cheats in the Ackerman deck because you can fire this off with prejudice during your turn, nuke something, and almost certainly survive the hit back. So yeah, this should be a fun glass cannon one. Yeah. This is there are so many different tanks in the Astra Militarum, it's hard to do them all different. So I thought for this one, just if this is like a point and kill gun that's only supposed to happen once, then make it very squishy for a lot of damage. Got a new Lehman Russ variant. This is a much more well-rounded big game hunter card, a bit more expensive, but a lot chunkier. And I think we've got one more Baneblade. Which one's the new Baneblade? Are you the new Baneblade? You're not the new Baneblade. Which one are you? Is it this one? This is the one. Yeah, Barrage and Anti-Infantry. So we got. I think there's only one more Baneblade variant left. But yeah, that is Ackerman, and I will quickly do a whistle-stop tour of the roadmap before we go in for some battles. Now, the version on my screen is very, very small, so I'm going to open that on a separate window. What have we got? So we're already partway through it. We've got Eldari versus Eldari Civil War going on at the moment, and Legendary Enhancements. We've talked to death about that already. Thank you all for bearing with me. And then tomorrow we've got Tank Commander Ackerman coming out. And I haven't mentioned, but yeah, you noticed he's an epic, which is great. It's the first time in a while that we've had an epic warlord. A lot of people have been calling out that, yeah, they've all been legendary at the moment. That's a fair point. So we've got a nice epic one, should be easier to level up and acquire. And then, yeah, we've got a Chaos versus Necrons for our live ops guy was rightfully very proud of this for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So we've got Black Legion versus Necrons over that weekend as well. I'm both proud and groans when he told me why it was Chaos versus Necrons. We've got Asia's Defense Line as well as a new 3 cards. But yeah, plenty going on for Thanksgiving, plenty of tanks. We've got Tank reminding me when you had infantry. Yeah, anti-infantry is going to be good, and with a lot more cards becoming infantry these days with the keyword tidy up. No, it should. Anti-infantry should only do its 2 infantry cards, does it not? If it doesn't, I will bug that up. Sorry, I keep blowing my nose, but at least I'm eating. I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, but not enough not to be here with all of you. Uh-oh. We've got 2 people already in the chat, ready to rumble. Okay, well, thanks, Nation. I appreciate that. So this is what we've gone for. We've got 2 precision shot barrages, the taunts, death blow, healer, and we've got Ackerman himself. So let's see how it goes. We've got 2 in there, ready to go. So let's give it a whirl and see how it goes. But yeah, everyone's saying that Morty is underpowered. Like, I felt the best I have done in a long time fighting with him in the arena. Oh yeah, I had feedback from in a YouTube comment somewhere saying that I drink too loudly, so I've become very self-conscious about that. So let me know if I'm drinking too loudly, and I will try my best not to. Or I'll mute every time I take a sip or something. I'm in about to go to him anyway. Go with the psychic. Okay. So it's all the animation there to show that they're tanking up. And there we go, 65 damage, reduced to 10. Not looking forward to that getting stolen. But hopefully he's going ranged heavy, so we can fight into the ranged with prejudice. if I was a proper streamer, I'd be having like right, poll live guys. Do you think I'm going to win this one? How's it looking? Type 1 in the chat if you think I'm going to win. I mean, yeah, this is the problem. I do get slapped in their turn. I reckon I'm confident enough to bring that early. Yeah, only 51 damage. Enhancements for legendary modifiers follow the same pattern. Yeah, they do. Exactly the same. There are obviously less bronze enhancements because one of them has been taken out. Omni bronze has been taken out. But your chance of getting a bronze or a silver or gold is exactly the same. So 60, 30, 10. Yeah. And then once you've rolled, but basically it rolls twice. It rolls once to be what rarity is it, and then it rolls again to see which of the available enhancements at that rarity you've got. I think the problem that they've got here is that they're just going to overkill me if they ship it into range. Yeah. This should be okay. Uh-huh. That should have been alright. The reroll discount for this time round is for a week. So, okay, I should be taking 328 damage. And I survived on 74 health. So that's a great example of how great this wall is. Unfortunately, I'm about to get got. But yeah, so yeah, reroll all week. So for a whole week. But yeah, I've got. I want to say I'm in a bonk, but I don't think that's right. I think that's a Cyrillic P, not a N. Will Warlord enhancements be discounted? That is a very good question. I would guess if they're not currently, then they may not be. But it's a fair question, and it's a question that I will ask tomorrow because it is past working time. Oh, come on. There we go. And thank you, yeah, GG, well played. We've got Lirith in here as well, who's always keen for a battle. So have a quick battle with them, and if there is anyone else looking for a battle, then feel free to jump in. We normally do 3 of these. Who are we fighting this time? Uh-oh. It's Angie. I'm in danger. Do you guys still think Aggron is the best warlords? I know for a while now people have been saying he's the most powerful. Where are you guys at with the moment with that? From my last accounts from you guys, I would say that of the Demon Primarchs, you guys are probably rating them. Angron is the best Demon Primarch, and then Magnus, then Fulgrim, and then Morty. But I don't know that Morty's worst is at the bottom. But yeah. Yeah, fair. That's kind of how I feel about Angron as well. He's kind of one that you need a plan against. Like, he will blow you out the water if you're not prepared for it. But there are other powerful and better things you can be doing for sure. I get you. The issue is that half of his rule doesn't work very often. Yeah, that's fair. I think that's also where I come in with the option of making it to triple damage, so 20 to 60 when he's on the field. I think that'd be really cool. But I also acknowledge that that's forcing you to put him out on the field early, which is a bit rough. So, yeah. Are you guys running Morty with a lot of poison, or are you doing it with... I mean, the obvious way seems to be doing it with the Sonic Blast poison guys, because you just get the maximum AoE damage. But I know that's not the only way to run them. It's the way I like to do it. I have been pinged a message. I am being watched. There is a member of staff among me who has let me know that Warlord enhancements for this time round won't be being discounted for this week. But we do have the ability to discount them as and how we want to per rarity and by bodyguard and warlord. So we could do 25% discount for some, 50 for the other. We could do it all at the same time, we could do them individually. So the answer is this time around, no. The discount is for a week and it's just for the legendary bodyguards, but that's not saying that no, we will never discount warlords again, or that we can't, or that we can only discount one thing at a time. That's not true. It's just not the case this time around. Hopefully that answers the question. Now, I've been dangerous here. I've stuck my warlord in front of Morty. Not Morty. He's talking too much about Morty in front of Angron. So I am going to get a big punch to the face. Let's hope that Medicare and a couple of rounds of shooting is enough to soften him up, but we will see. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair, Mike. Yeah, it's good feedback. I guess it depends on which way you want to take it, but yeah. Oh, save the best for last. That's a lot. Oh, you don't need that much melee ready. You don't need to double your attack. It's unnecessary. Oh no, it's not 600 damage. 800 damage. That's what I said. Yeah, that'll do it. Good game. Well played. Awesome. Droid chaos, yeah. I think that is everyone in the arena. Come on, game, wake up. Yeah, cool. Okay. On that then. It happens. It happens to the best of us. I mean, if you put down two max level scouters with Angron who gets his hit in and all the rest of it. No, good game, Lewis. Enjoyed it. Oh, you're coming back swinging with another one. All right. Because you've asked nice and there's no one else. We normally do 3 games. We can get this one done. and then we can go on to the giveaway. Uh-oh. Speak of the devil. Here we go. I love how tribal you guys are, actually. Like, it's really nice. I know that there's lots more that we want to be doing with clans and make it into a much more, developed thing that has more going on for it. But even that said, with what you guys have done so far, the clans that we've got, like, it's really great to see that you guys have formed really strong bonds and communities in each of your clans. Like, genuinely, like, really cool to see. How does everyone feel about this one? Like, it's just an absolute nightmare to deal with. Oh, gone straight in with the Morty lead. Alright, let's do max damage. Horrible lane blocker, but super expensive for what it is. I think that's fair. But, I mean, yeah, it is gross. I think the advantage it has is in the right matchup. Like, just sitting there, fear, impossible takedown, and debuffing range every single turn means that, like, it's just gross to get through. I mean, like, yeah, I'm shooting, but it may as well not be. I realise I have made a mistake putting this card here, because that was never going to die. We'll just die very slowly. I'm basically just waiting for the damage over time from Morty to kill him. Any news on raising a ticket getting fixed? Yeah, that's a very good point. I wasn't aware how bad of a problem this was until you guys raised it and today, and so I asked a few questions about it. And yeah, okay, fair enough. That's not good. It's in hand. As far as I'm aware, we are very aware of it. I wasn't, but the team was. So I think we are in the process of getting fixed out. And from what I gather, it's currently being tested. So hopefully not much longer until that's fixed. But yeah, sorry for missing that one. But yes, luckily for you, luckily for everyone, I'm not responsible for knowing everything all the time, and the rest of the team is aware and has got a fix incoming for it. Oh no. Okay. You can go there. We want you to die at some point, and you can get there. I mean, it's 82 damage. Any progress on new clan features? Yeah. I think, and I've said this before, is just like, if we want to do something for clans, we want it to be something good. But something good means a lot of work, and a lot of work is not something that we can commit to at the moment. As much of a behind the scenes as I'm able to kind of give, is that the studio has been working on a new game and has been for a while now, but that will be coming out soon at the beginning of next year. So a lot of like the studio as a whole's resources have been tied up in that. So yeah, we're hopeful that coming next year we're going to get a lot more resource. Again, we'll see how that all goes. But yeah, things like that in the near future should hopefully be more likely to happen. We'll see. We'll see. There's always negotiations with. No, not a Warhammer game that's going to be released next year. No. I don't know. I don't know how much actually I'm supposed to be saying about it. I think it's in soft launch at the moment, so it's not like hidden. And they're doing live streams for us. Yeah, I can talk about it. It's called it's a Vampire the Masquerade game. It's called Clans of London. It's available in some parts of the world, not all of it at the moment, but it's a card battler. But it's an interesting one where it's sort of a take and hold map kind of thing. So you're trying to angle for different positions, and there's a lot more sort of traditional CCG or TCG, no CCG with it, like it's gameplay stuff. So yeah, if you're a big fan of Vampire the Masquerade or just sort of like tactical positional card games and stuff like that, yeah, it's worth checking out for sure. We'll be making much more of a song and dance about it when it fully comes out. But yeah, we might well be getting new resources soon. And yeah, great game there. Appreciate it. Gotta Rouge, not ignoring you. I'll get to that because it's a big question. But yes, Ackerman is rule. Ackerman here is friendly vehicles. Cards take 75% less damage during your turn. So that is every at the start of the yeah, thanks. Yeah, so that's all damage sources as well. So anything from other traits, other enemy warlords, poison, that's all reduced when it applies to vehicles. So it's our first foray into damage reduction. Not damage reduction, sorry, first foray into keyword traits, keyword warlords. So not saying that this is the only one we're going to do, not saying that we're going to do more of them necessarily, but it's an interesting avenue. We've got it working now. Ta-da! We've got keywords working. So if we wanted to down the line, wanted to make a Terminator Warlord, for example, or we wanted to do one that specifically did with Hive Fleet or with GC Cults, or we want to do like specific one, whatever. We can make that work now. And yes, during your turn, so you can go full aggro, yeah. So if you're in a mirror map, so if you're going, which most of the time you'll be heavy range, you can punch into something like Tau without having to sweat it at all. It also means that if you're fighting against Psychic, you can ready, which normally you can't do, but you can ready against something like a Psychic deck without having to worry about getting hit that hard. Yeah, it makes it kind of flexible into working the way that you want it to. Doesn't mean you're still vulnerable on the other person's turn, but it means you only take half as much damage, basically, overall. Right, let me go over here. I will get back to your question about enhancements in just a second, but while I'm yapping about that, because it is always good to have something to talk about while I'm doing that, I will start the giveaway. So, giveaway will be as usual, so exclamation point join. Whose effect takes precedence for against call? This will take precedent over call's rule because it's just a hard cap of the damage, like it reduces all the damage taken. This is very purposely tacked on the end, and it's sort of like a super damage reduction type because it affects things like poison and cleave from like Logan's rule, which nothing else up until this point has been able to affect. So yeah, this is like a super type, and it should reduce all damage. So it's a hard counter to call. And want to get the exact wording of the question about the issues with enhancements. So yeah, the issue with enhancements is simple and complicated at the same time. Basically, everyone should be adjusted to a new level based on the number of card copies that they've spent over their lifetime on that card. What that means is because the level tree has been moved about a bit, that two people being on the same level could have got to that level with a different number of card copies spent. Which is why some people are on level, whatever it is, 12, 13, 11, and they're getting moved different ways, both within people's accounts and also between other players. It looks like it's different. It's just all based on how many card copies you've actually spent over your lifetime on that card. That is accurate and recorded, so that's not wrong. But what is wrong is that because it's been a bit wonky, there's a potential for there to be like a remainder value. So when cards have been spent in a way that doesn't neatly overlap with one of the new levels, it's not counting those excess copies. So some people are losing a few excess copies here or there. Or on the flip side, if they have extra copies in their collection, they are potentially getting over leveled and stuff like that. But basically, it can be fixed. It's just a matter of mapping it out. It is mostly correct now, but not completely correct. And we can make it completely correct. It's just going to take a little bit of time. And yeah, well, this damage reduction from the Warlord work for... Oh, sorry, Belly is for Crawl. Yes, it will work for Crawl. Yeah, it will. It's highlighted as well as being something that works against other enemy Warlord rules and traits and everything. So yes, it should be a hard counter to Crawl. Although it won't obviously apply in Call's turn, so it half counters Call. Right, let's move into winners. So our first winner is Hyprusper86. I presume I've pronounced that correctly. Congrats to you. 2 copies of Ackerman coming your way. You're welcome. Next winner is Goblin Wizards. Congrats to you. Got 2 copies coming your way. Our third winner is Rainer Wolfcastle. Congrats to you. Ackerman on the way. We've got, I want to say Milkhots, but there's a 3 or an E in there. But we'll call him Milkhots. Congrats. You've got 2 copies for you. And our last winner is Big Sugar Lumps. So all 5 of you will be getting 2 copies of Ackerman in the post. I will be getting those over to you tomorrow morning. A lot of you, I think you've won before, so I have all of your details. If you have not won before or it's been a while, do message me. I think Milkhots, unless you've changed your name. I haven't had your details before. So do ping me a DM either on here or on Discord, and I will get those copies across to you in the morning. And congrats to the 2 winners of the PvP as well. You will also get some goodies as well. Cool. All right. I think that kind of wraps it up for today's stream. Thank you all for bearing with us as we get all of this fixed and sorted out. It will be fixed soon. And yeah, I'll be on this. This will be a priority, and I'll be updating you. Don't expect anything to happen for the rest of the day today, because it is 7 o'clock UK time. But it will be the first thing that we're addressing in the morning. But then the other news have a great. Oh, what about the Warhammer Legends keywords? Any plans for that keyword? Sorry, you did ask that question. I missed it with all the excitement of all the rewards coming out. It's basically just us being able to tag any of the older models that are no longer available for sales. It's twofold, really. It's just a cool, interesting way to tag things. It also means that because we're highlighting them as Legends cards, it's easier for us to get those cards and those art styles into the game because we've highlighted them, and it's matching up with GW marketing and wording better as well. Are we going to do anything with that keyword? Yeah, it'd be a cool idea, cool campaign. It would depend on which faction. But yeah, it is just a way to highlight these cards, make sure that we can keep them in the game and stuff like that. And also, for some of the older cards which don't have updated models, it's just a nice way of just us saying, yep, these are the old cool cards as they were. But yeah, talking keywords, yeah, our first keyword, Warlords. Maybe the last. I would be surprised if it was, but I don't know what our plans are for that down the road. Give me a shout out for some ideas that you guys have got for good keyword Warlords. Like, either existing warlords who you think could do with like a rules change. I know some of the older ones who do the rules change, like pitch me your best keyword warlord rules for them, or any guys we haven't added into the game yet who make a good keyword warlords. Yeah, cool, fun thought exercise. But yeah, that is me for today. You'll probably be hearing from me if you're in Discord again tomorrow. But wherever you're in the world, I hope you have a great day. If you're of the American persuasion, I hope that you're having a lovely Thanksgiving. And yeah, I will see you all next time. All right. Cheers. And